Welcome back to Sawyer Ridge Farm. I'm Jacob, and so today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting up our potatoes and getting them started to put in the ground. If you watched our previous video, we went to Sandusky's, and that's where we get our potato starts. It's just a nice little farm store that's close to us. But so what we're going to be doing is cutting up some potatoes, and if you never planted potatoes, this is our second year of planting potatoes, and so we're still learning a lot about them. We're still trying to find a good way of planting them. We're going to be doing a variety of methods that I've been doing some research, and the way we planted them last year, they did pretty good for us. We're probably definitely going to do the same, and then I want to try some other stuff that I've seen other people use and just see if it's a little bit easier or what have you. But one thing that I if you never planted potatoes before, the things you got to do is you got to kind of cut them up. You can kind of get a little bit more than just, sticking one potato in the ground. And what I've kind of read is, some people, you get these eyes right here. So see, this is kind of sprouting a little bit. And you see, these are called like eyes. And this is where like the plant, that's where it'll start to grow, into other potatoes. And so what you're going to want to do is cut these eyes, just pieces, just decent size. Guys, there's not a science where you got to have a 2-inch by 2-inch type. Potatoes are easy, okay? Just make sure you got at least one eye, okay, in each cut that you do. So with this one, you see that you got some eyes here. That's kind of a big one. You got one here, maybe a little one right there. So what I'm probably going to do is just make things easy and just cut like that. So this, when it's planted, you got some eyes right here, a little one right there. And so that's going to be, a potato plant right there, just this one. And so looking at this one, you got kind of one here, one right there. Maybe got like a little one. That's not much. So what I'm going to do is probably cut a little bit at an angle. And this is going to be one. It's kind of a bigger piece, but it's not a problem. And what it does is it uses, kind of the bigger your piece is, in a sense, it's going to use this nutrients to kind of like grow when it's first starting out. And looking at this one, I'm pretty much probably just going to leave this the way it is because there's not really a whole lot of eyes. There's one here. So I'm just going to leave this piece how it is. So you can see we got them all cut up. It really didn't take very long at all. I mean, it took maybe 5 minutes with me and Alex doing it. Like I said, not a science or anything. We like to kind of flip the potatoes upward where we did our cuttings. And so they'll dry a little bit better. And what we're going to be doing, we'll show you, is, this part right here is kind of like moist right now. It's going to have kind of like a little scab over it. It'll just kind of dry it out a little bit, and then that's when they're good to plant. Now usually you gotta wait, just kind of depends, but 3 to 5 days after you cut it. Now y'all ain't gonna have to wait that long to see us plant these, but we're gonna be waiting about 3 to 5 days until these are over, and then we'll come back with you.
Alright, so it has been roughly about a week since we did our cuttings, and y'all, what you're kind of wanting to look for when you're done cutting, it's kind of this right here. It's kind of dried out, kind of scabbed over, as you could say. That's what you're kind of looking for, and this one is ready to plant. So we're out here in the garden, and what we're going to be doing a couple different methods of doing these potatoes. We want to see which one does the best, which one is the easiest, and just which one is overall the best. Now this is only our second time planting potatoes, so we are fresh and new to doing potatoes. We did some last year, but a couple methods we're going to do is this fabric bed that we showed y'all filling. We did a video on that. Now we're gonna have to take a lot of this out. We didn't know at that time that we were gonna be planting potatoes in here, but we saw a lot of comments. People said those are really good for potatoes, so we're gonna be taking some of this out and we're gonna try potatoes in here. And then also over here we got a 55-gallon drum. It's cut pretty much about in half, and I've seen some methods of people doing this, and I really want to try it. And the main reason is you plant it, and once it gets up and you're gonna harvest, you just pull it up, and then all the potatoes fall out, you know, like a piñata almost. So, and then if we have any left over, we're gonna try to put some in our in-ground garden. Just you know, put some hay over it and stuff, and we're gonna see just which one does the best. So we're gonna get into putting some in the barrels, and we're gonna be taking some of this soil here and sticking it in there, and we'll just start planting. All right, so we're gonna just show you a little bit about this barrel. What we're gonna be doing is on the bottom here, we just put a couple feed bags for a weed barrier, and I burned the inside of it. I put this in a fire to get all like kind of the paint and stuff off of it. If you're going to try these barrels, the one thing that I have heard is you don't want to use a whole 55-gallon drum. You want to do half, maybe a little bit more, because you want the sun to be able to get in there a lot easier. If you have a whole barrel, just, you know, the way the angles and everything are, the sun's not going to get down in there very well. So you're definitely going to want to at least cut it in half, so you get sun to the potato starts. Got the weed barrier. We're just going to pile up probably, you know, 6 inches or so of soil. We're going to put the potato starts in there, and then we'll pile a little bit of soil on top of that. So we're going to get that done right now. We got about approximately 6 inches of dirt in here. It's that good compost that we have, the horse manure. And you know, guys, this ain't a science or anything. You know, just put about 6 inches or so, and then you get your potato starts. And it all depends on who you talk to on how far apart they should be. Some say 6, some say 12, 10. Just do whatever you feel like. I'm probably just going to split in the middle and probably do 8 or 9. But don't think too much about it. Just put some potatoes in the ground, all right? So when you're planting potatoes, what you're going to want to do is see these little eyes. These are called eyes right here. And then there's like also one right here. You want to just put those kind of upward. You don't want to, you know, stick it like this in the ground, because this is where the, you know, the plant is coming from. It's from one of these. So all you're going to be doing is just putting these however far apart. You know, like I said, I'm doing them probably about 9 inches or so. Nothing, there's not a science to it for me. I'm just putting them however I feel like doing it. And we're just going to put these around here, and we'll come back to you. All right, so I planted all those. You know, they're as far as I want them to be, and now all I'm going to do is just put some dirt on them, or this compost, not dirt. Just going to sprinkle all this on top. Oh, I'll probably do a couple inches. Make sure they're nice and covered. All right, so we got the layer on, and now we're just going to put a little bit of straw on top. Now with this method that we use, and it's going to be the same thing with the other bed, is you have it down there, and once they kind of start to sprout up and they start, you know, getting above the surface, and you actually see the plant, once they get to a certain height, just put a little bit more soil on it. Don't cover them completely, but just, you know, leave enough, you know, where it's, you know, above, and they'll keep growing. You keep putting more on there, and they just keeps going up, and it'll get all the way up to the top, hopefully. I would assume it would. But that's kind of what this is you just, once it gets up to a certain height, stick the soil on and just keep doing that all the way through. So we're going to put some straw on right now. Doesn't have to be a real thick layer of straw, just something to kind of cover up the soil. Alright, we'll just let them wait until they get above it. we are now in the in-ground garden area, and we don't have a whole lot of potatoes left, but we wanted to put them in the ground and just see how they do. We actually have some old potatoes from last year that are really sprouting. I mean, they're like, the sprouts on them are like this long. I don't know if they're actually gonna take or not. I don't know a whole lot about potatoes, but instead of just throwing them out, let's put them in the ground and see what they do. Doesn't do anything, I didn't lose anything, and I get to learn something. But so pretty much what I'm going to do here, I did it a little bit, just kind of made a little tiny area right here where we're going to plant them, and I'm going to be putting some of this compost down, and then we're just going to, just like we did with the other ones, just stick them on top, maybe do a little layer, nothing crazy. Now with this in-ground garden, I've been trying to, as you can kind of see, I'm kind of raking up a lot of these like weeds and stuff. And guys, with this garden, we don't expect this in-ground garden to be the best garden this year, okay? We're not expecting that. This is more of just a learning year for us in this in-ground garden. I expect this, not to do well, just because it's new ground. It's very low in nitrogen, and we're trying just to build the soil. So just in all of this, when we're doing it, we're new to the in-ground garden, and we're just here to learn. And I know from years later, this garden will be very fruitful, and if we just maintain it, take care of it, and do what we need to do. So we're gonna get into putting the rest of this compost down and putting the potatoes on, and then we will be done with planting potatoes for the year. And just so you know, like we said before, we got 11 pounds of potatoes. And at the end of the year, when we pull them all up, we're going to see how much our yield was. And so I'm really excited to see how that turns out this year. All right, so we got all the potatoes in. And as you can probably see, when I was talking about our old potatoes, like, look at this thing. This thing is long. I never really kind of seen this. And like I said, y'all, this is our second year of potatoes. I don't even know if this is gonna do anything, if it's too far gone, or, I mean, just when I look at it though, I mean, you can kind of see, those look like eyes. I don't know if they're gonna plant. If y'all are really familiar with potatoes, put it down in the comments, you think this is gonna go, or this is just like, no. But we're gonna plant it anyways, and the way we're kind of planting this is, I mean, these look like eyes to me, so I'm just gonna plant them kind of long ways and then put the dirt over the top of them. So don't know, but we'll see. We'll get them all covered up, and we'll probably put some straws on there also. All right, y'all, we are done planting potatoes. As you can see here, you may be thinking, what the heck did you just do? So we put the, this is actually hay that I had sitting over yonder I had it sitting out for a couple months to try to get that seed out of there, just so they maybe not sprout up seed. So this is actually hay that we used. But on top of here, I didn't really think about this at the time. I know when I was thinking of row crops, I gotta have a fence in here, okay? Because of our chickens. They're gonna come in and they'll scratch and they'll, pull up the seeds. Well, when we were planting the potatoes, I didn't even really think about the chickens until we were done. And I'm like, well, the chickens are here and they're gonna scratch at this hay and everything. So I was like, what can we do right now to try to mitigate this until we can figure out a fence solution later? So I had some leftover predator fence, and guys, it is the perfect length for what we planted. And so I just have it over here, put some wood on there, and this should deter the chickens from just kind of coming on here and scratching at it. I'm hoping, but we'll see how this turns out. But that's the reason for the fencing. We've never done it before because our other place we put potatoes, it has a fence. But guys, we really hope that you really like this video, planting the potatoes. We're really excited for this gardening season. We're going to take you along with everything that we're doing in the garden, good, bad, and the ugly. So if you like the video, hit the like button. If you got any questions about what we're doing or what we have done before, leave them down in the comments, and we always try to answer everyone's questions to the best of our abilities. And if you're not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe and hit that bell for notifications so you can see new content like this as soon as it comes out, and it may give you good ideas for your growing season here soon. Y'all, it is pretty much here. We're getting everything ready, and soon this will be, you know, planted, and everything's going to be just flourishing. So as always, take care and God bless.